Hello, and welcome to the next episode of the Spirit and Soul podcast. Let's just start out by taking a nice big deep breath in together. So on the count of 3, 1, 2, 3, breathe in and out, and really just taking a moment for yourself. I'm going to light a candle and open up this space right now. And I'm lighting up Frank's money candle. If you are watching on YouTube, that is the candle that I just lit up. This is one of our biggest sellers at Spirit and Soul. And I never work or honestly do anything without it. So lighting up this candle, breathing into this energy as we open up space and talk today about waking up on purpose. And what I mean by that is sometimes we can get into this habit of waking up with a lot of really bad thoughts or a lot of really negative thoughts, or maybe even wake up with like anxiety. Or your to-do list is just so ever present. And that is the thing that's giving you anxiety. And no matter what that is, what I want to talk to you today about is shifting that energy. So most people think that like their morning mood is actually who they are. Like you'll hear someone say, I'm not a morning person, right? But you choose to be a morning person, or you choose to continue to have these thoughts or this mood, this energy frequency. If it lowers you down, that is a choice to continue in it. Okay. So maybe the first 5 minutes of your day, we're going to say it's a maybe. I'm saying it's 100%. But I need you to understand it, try it, buy into it. But what I'm saying is maybe the first 5 minutes of your day can actually be some of the most profound 5 minutes of your day, rather than a feeling of exhaustion or dread or anxiety. Just maybe, if you chose to feel different. So what we're going to do is we are going to start out by just understanding one thing, that in the moment that you wake up in the morning, I want you to choose something every single day that you feel good about saying. I want you to have an affirmation ready to go. And I will tell you that this is going to take practice at first. Like I want you to practice it before you go to bed, whatever this affirmation is. And what will happen is as you start to shift the mindset in the morning around this affirmation, what's going to happen is you're going to start to see that you wake up saying it. So this affirmation ends up replacing whatever it is that was in your mind. Now, those things can still creep up. Okay. They can still creep up. Those anxious thoughts can still creep up. You may, especially in the beginning, have to bring forward that affirmation. You have to choose otherwise. Okay. So I want you to remember that every single thing that you do in life in general is a choice. It is a choice. So what we want to do is make sure that what we are choosing, especially in the morning, that's setting the tone for our day, is powerful. If you wake up every morning like, coffee, I need coffee to wake up. Guess what? You're going to need coffee to wake up every single day. I used to be that person. That was like, don't even I need to have my coffee in the morning. And listen, while I do still enjoy my coffee in the morning, there are times that I can go without it for a little bit, especially I can go hours without it in the morning. Do I still like to drink it? Yes, because I put all of my good adaptogens in it and all of the things in it. And I really enjoy my coffee, but do I need it? No. Right. So I'm getting to a point now where I don't need the coffee because I've told myself that that it's not a necessity in my life. So what we want to really do is start to define ourselves, not by the things we think we need, not by our limitations, but by our expansiveness. And that's why this affirmation, picking an affirmation, choosing one. I know you may have many affirmations of things that you want to manifest and all that stuff, but I'm asking for this affirmation to be, what do I need, right? What do you need in life in general right now in order to feel good throughout your day? And that's going to be different for everybody. So you can choose a general affirmation where it's my day unfolds with ease and joy. like something like that, that could be great. Or if you are feeling a lot of anxiety, let's say around love or around money or around, I don't know, any situation that you have in your life, what you're going to do is choose an affirmation, because that's probably like the thing that you're waking up with on your mind. So what I want you to do is choose an affirmation that feels like it could support you in the most positive way in whatever that anxious feeling is bringing up. So if it's around like money, maybe you have something that says like, I'm an abundant queen, or I am a money magnet and see money all around me, right? Or I see abundance all around me. Whatever it is, that's where I want you to really put your focus and start doing this on repeat. It should be short, okay? It should be very short so that you remember it. Like first thing in the morning. So, like, I'm going to be honest with you this morning, and why I have this episode on my heart right now is like, I woke up pretty anxious. Like, I woke up at like 3:15 in the morning. I was feeling a little anxiety, and why I couldn't really place my finger on it. And I just kind of sat there, and instead of trying to force myself to go back to sleep, because that anxiety, the more that I laid there, the more that that anxious feeling was creeping up, the more that negative self-talk, because when you're tired, you are at like a weak point for yourself. So negativity, self-talk that can be like really bad for, like really like not good, like all like the ugliest things start to come up when you're tired, because the ego is getting you when you're at your weakest. And it's like, well, if you're doing anything that feels like expansion or growth or anything like that, this is the ego's chance to kind of get in there and try to stop you. Because remember, it's not trying to keep you from doing the things that you're meant to do and the things that you love. What's happening is that it's actually trying to keep you safe. So in the trying to keep you safe, it's got to kind of get you when it can. And when you're tired, that's when you're going to hear those things, when they're going to kind of hit you, and maybe you start to go into a little bit of a spiral because of it. So that affirmation really comes into play when you wake up like that. So as long as you have some tools, you can start to combat it. So when I woke up this morning and started to have these feelings, instead of just laying there and allowing them to overtake me, which is what was starting to happen, I just got up. So even at like 3:30 in the morning, I was awake. I sat down and I was going to meditate, but that didn't feel like what I needed. Because I felt like I was just going to be kind of sitting there still with my own thoughts. So what I did was I actually grabbed my computer, you can grab a journal, and I wrote. And I got everything out of my mind. It felt like I'm writing a book right now. So it felt like I really needed to write. And I just focused on that. And in doing that, I actually took my mind off of everything that was going on inside, any of that anxiety, any of that negative self-talk that I was having. It started to just go away. And then I started to say like, okay, now it's time. It was like kind of getting late. Now it's like not late. It was still early. It was like 5 a.m. But I'm like, all right, let me start meditating. I had an early start to my day. Let me start to meditate. I meditated. And instead of meditating with like expansion crystals and meditating with things that are going to charge me up, like maybe a citrine or something like that, I meditated with blue lace agate, celestite. I meditated with selenite, like clearing, as a clearing tool, not as a super high vibe, but like as a cleansing tool. Doing this, and lepidolite, and then I had a smoky at my feet. So I really kind of set myself up. I lit some Palo Santo. I lit all of my candles. I did everything that opens up space and grounds me. And that was a huge, huge thing, because I'm already now starting to clear the energy, get into a space that feels more grounded, that taking me out of my head and it back into my place of truth, which is my soul. Once I did that and I laid that blue lace agate on my heart, I had the celestite, I said the smoky quartz at my feet. I had the celestite and the lepidolite in my hands. I just laid there and I did my meditation, and I allowed myself to just fall into this beautiful meditation. And in that meditation is where I made a decision that whatever timeline I was just on is not my timeline. And I'm like, this energy is not mine. This energy is not my timeline. These thoughts are not on the timeline, my highest timeline that I'm on right now. And I don't accept them. And as soon as I saw the anxious thoughts as separate from me and those negative self-talk as separate from me, they had zero power over me for the rest of the day. For the rest of the day, I didn't even have them. I don't even have them now. I don't have that anxious feeling. Now, if I would have continued to give those negative thoughts power, succumb to them, let's say, and fell victim to them, then I would be having a really bad day right now. I would probably not be able to sit here and do this podcast episode with you. I wouldn't be able to do those things because I would feel bad. I would be in a spiral of negative self-talk still. I would be anxious. Even though I'd be functioning, I would feel anxious. I don't have any of that. When you have these tools, that really does start with the affirmations. Like the affirmations start on like every day. That is an everyday thing, whether you wake up feeling good, bad, or otherwise, that's an everyday thing. But even the affirmations can't take away some of the things that are going on inside or that fight from the ego. So when that happens, not allowing yourself to be victim to them and not allowing yourself to see them. Like when we look at these, like understand it like this. When we start to have these anxious thoughts or these, let's say, depressive thoughts or these thoughts where, everything about it is making our energy feel bad, they feel like they are us. Those thoughts feel like they are such a part of you that it is, that it is your truth. And you have to, in that moment, understand that those things are not your truth. And you don't need anybody to tell you that it's not your truth. You don't. So you don't have to wait to call your friend, your sister. You don't have to wait till wake up your significant other, your husband, and get them up and say like, I'm having a really bad day or I'm having a really bad morning. I can't fall back to sleep. You don't have to do those things. I need you to understand your truth, to tap into your heart, your soul, to start to tell you what the truth actually is. And the truth is none of those things that are negative. It is none of them. I don't care what your past looked like. I don't care what you did in your life. That negative self-thought is not yours. Okay? So we're going to give that back. And once you do that, you start to see those thoughts as separate from you, as not originating from you. It's originating from a dark, shadowy part of yourself that's just trying to keep you safe. That's just trying to get your attention in that moment. And you don't have to give it your attention. So you get to choose how you wake up in the morning. You get to choose how your day goes. And I want you to empower yourself with that because that is so important. Okay. So here's the thing. And I want you to really understand this. The reason that the affirmations and these things are so important is because we are usually waking up in the past. Now, how do we do that? How do we wake up in the past when we're in the present moment? Because those thoughts, those feelings, those energies, they are coming from the past. They are not coming from the you of today. You're waking up with these ideas. It's because your subconscious mind is open and your subconscious mind is filled with old belief systems, old stories, and the things that you have not healed through yet are going to be the things, especially like sometimes the most shadowy, are going to be the things that you wake up to and with. So you have to condition yourself to not wake up with those things. And if you get up every single day, Joe Dispenza talks about this all the time. If you get up every single day, every day with thoughts of the past, with thoughts of like, my back again, this hurts, my body hurts, my heart hurts, another day, and you wake up like that, that is the past dragging you down and just continuing. You are on Groundhog Day repeat in your feelings, in your emotions, in all of the things. So it's going to be really important for you to get extremely, extremely intentional to not wake up in the past. And it's going to be there, and you have to flip the switch on it. You have to do that. You have to show it who's boss. Okay. So like understand that you're the boss, man. Like you are the boss. So stop letting these old thoughts, old stories, limiting beliefs, fears, and doubts run you like they are your boss. They are not the boss. You are. Okay. So when you start to wake up with tools to fight back, because it's going to be a fight. Okay. When you wake up with tools to fight back, suddenly you're going to start to see those things start to fall to the wayside. Those are going to be the things that just, you don't wake up with that anymore. You don't wake up with that energy anymore. And if you do, like I did today, like I used to wake up like that. Okay. And I will still wake up like that if I'm in a stressful moment. If I have something big happening, I will wake up in with that, like, or sometimes I just have a hard time sleeping. I'll wake up anxious. And if that's happening to me or that's happening like inside of me, I have the tools, like I recognize it, and that will be short lived for me. All right. But for some people, I know they're waking up anxious every single day. And if that's you and you have the tools, you have to find the tools. And I'm giving you that right now to fight back on those feelings, because that is going to set the tone for your day. And to be quite honest with you, that's just not fair for you. That's not fair to you because you're already starting your day at a disadvantage. So you really, really need to interrupt these patterns. You have to. Because all they are self-sabotage. All they are resistance. And especially if you are doing something new, especially if you are doing something that is changing your life, that feels so expansive. If you're doing some spiritual work, if you're doing some healing work, you're going to have that resistance and that fight back, because we always get that when we have expansion. Remember, anything transformative, expansive, anything that we're doing for ourselves is going to be met with resistance because it is not familiar. And we have to learn to make the unfamiliar familiar. What is familiar is you living in the past. What is familiar is you not maybe waking up at your best, having negative self-thoughts, right? Like all of that thing that may be familiar because you've been doing it for so long. But now in the unfamiliar areas, that is where you're going to need those tools, and you're going to have to be mindful about using them. And you're going to have to be really self-aware when you're starting to feel them, when you're starting to see these things creep up, and not allow yourself to fall victim to it, right? Like it's so easy it's a slippery slope. You know what I mean? Like it is a slippery slope when you start to get that feeling, because it feels good. Why does it feel good even though it feels bad? Because most of the world is in them. And you start to slip into a collective consciousness of victim. That's why they feel good. That's why it feels a little bit comforting. And you just feel like you want to what? Crawl up into a ball. You feel like you just want to hide, right? You're in that negativity. You are meant to shine. You're not meant to hide. But if you're starting out every day low, then it's going to be really hard to shine. So starting out with the tools of the affirmations, okay, that's going to be number one. So choose one, again, something that maybe is on your mind. Like notice what you're waking up with every day. Like what are the thoughts that you're waking up with every day? If the thought is, oh, I have so much to do, and you're already waking up with overwhelm, then your immediate affirmation should be something that does not feel overwhelming for you. It has to be something that speaks to the overwhelm and starts to clear that out and say, no, I have more than enough time in my day. And maybe that's what it is. Maybe that is your affirmation, right? I have more than enough time in my day to do everything I need to do. And if I don't do it all, there's always tomorrow, right? If you're starting to say that, let that be on repeat. I always call that anything that's on repeat, any affirmations that are on repeat, they are prayers of the heart. They're coming from the heart space. And this is something that Megan Watterson talked about in Mary Magdalene Revealed, but there was a specific prayer of the heart. And I just don't subscribe to that there has to just be one. I think that there can be whatever it is you need on repeat in your mind. And that is your prayer of the heart. So what is going to be your prayer of the heart for the morning? right? And then let it speak to that thing. So if it's overwhelm, let it speak to that. If it's money, let it speak to that. If it's just general, like I want to feel joy, let it speak to that. Like what is the thing you're waking up with? So being self-aware with that, having your affirmation ready to go. And then on the days where the affirmation is not enough, because you're going to have them, on those days, knowing what tools are going to support you. Stop fighting. Don't fight against going back to sleep. If you're up at 3 o'clock in the morning and you have a big day, I get it. You're going to sit there for another hour trying, like fighting to go back to sleep rather than just getting up and doing whatever it is, your mind, your heart, whatever it is it needs right there. And usually it's to get the energy out of the body. That's why writing, journaling, anything like that, that's not going to have you stay in your thoughts. Like meditating for me this morning, sometimes meditation is the answer for me. Like I'll know what I need, but usually what I need is just to get the energy out of the body. So grabbing a journal, writing it out would be great. Grabbing your computer, writing it out. You will see that once you get it out of your body, you start to feel better. And once you start to feel better, you are going to slip right back into sleep. Okay. This is what happens with me anyway. But before I do that, if I have a day like that, I am doing a surrender style meditation with surrender style crystals. I am not grabbing activating crystals. I'm not going for a moldavite on those days. I'm going for ones that are grounding, smoky at your feet, smoky quartz at your feet. Okay. It's important that it's at your feet. That lepidolite to start to bring that energy down, right? To start to calm the body. And for me, blue lace agate is a stone from Mother Mary. Mother Mary, we don't look at religious figures. They don't belong to any religion. Okay. They are divine masters that anybody can work with, regardless of religion. For me, Mother Mary is an energy that I can fall back into for support. That she will always be the first person that I call on when I need to just be held. And that is who I call on. Also, another one, and I didn't do this today because I wasn't having the deepest of negative self-talk. It was more just a feeling in my body. But when I'm having the really negative self-talk, I call on Archangel Michael and I say, Archangel Michael, save me from myself. Cut the cords to this negative self-talk with your, sword of light. And clear that out. That is one thing that is powerful. So even if you are having a hard time falling asleep the night before, and you're having this hard time asking it, if you're like running thoughts, ruminating thoughts, call on Archangel Michael with his sword to clear out anything that's in your mind to save you from yourself. All right. So that's another big thing I do, but having the tools that feel good to you, and your tools may be different from my tools. Okay. But I will tell you that a tool that I think is universal is journaling or writing of some sort to get any type of energy that's in your body out. Because usually those things are that feeling in your body is some type of energy that needs to move. Okay. It may be meditation for you. It may be something else, but you have to try. You have to see what works for you. For me, a surrender style meditation after I get the energy out of my body through some type of writing, journaling, etc., is always the answer. And I don't do a sit down. Usually I'm a sit down meditator. I lay down. I truly just allow my body to surrender completely. I don't do an activating meditation the only thing I'll say about that is this. I don't say it's an activating meditation, but a manifesting meditation, it might be the thing that I actually do if I'm worried about something. So if I'm worried about money, or if I'm worried about a particular situation, or if I'm manifesting something and that thing is that day, and I will do a manifesting meditation to see the outcome as I would like to see it. And that in itself is calming, but that may be too activating for you. So again, trying to maneuver through all of these things is going to be the best thing for you. Find out what works, and then you will start to see that you have a toolbox of all of these things that you can do when and if you feel like this. And you'll start to see this negative self-talk in the morning dissipate. You'll start to see yourself wake up with a bit more energy, with a bit more lightness. You'll see your day start to feel really good because you're starting it from a really good place that you chose. that you didn't just let yourself be victim to. You chose it. Okay. So I hope that you use these tools. Please let me know how they help you. I would love to hear from you. You can reach out to me at Spirit and Soul Studio on Instagram. And you can also say hi to me on my Instagram page. And that is, I'm Tiffany Cohen, Cohen. And I would love to hear how these things work for you, what you did to start to shift your day. And I can't wait to see you again on the next episode of the Spirit and Soul podcast.